What's up, folks? I'm Odd, by the way, and welcome back to, I guess, a little, like, I don't know what to call this, and the animal mashup challenge, basically. We are going to be taking another 3 sets of 3 animals, mushing them all together to create their own creatures, and I've recently moved back to making these a bit more, like, reminiscent of actual, hopefully some sort of strange mythical creature, I think. And I'm very curious to see how that will turn out. This is the website that I'm going to be using. It just rolls a number of selected, like, random creatures. I put the quantity down to 3 so we can grab our groups as needed and go from there. So let's see what we get to start out with. A pronghorn, a marmoset, and a goat. Oh my gosh, okay. So this is the monkey. And we got kind of an antelope and then another kind of like ungulate creature. I don't know if this is going to be identifiable enough for these. You know, I might reroll. I think these are a little too similar. I just get lost in there. Oh no. Oh god, I've invoked the anger of the gods. An anteater, a rooster, and a starfish. What? What? I guess, like a star-nosed mole, it could have, like, the starfish at the end of its snout? Well, I have to do this one. But I just feel like I've angered the gods and they gave me a... They gave me a selection. They were like, oh, you wanted more different creatures? Well, here you go! Oh my god. This is about as random as you can get. Well, okay. I guess we're doing that. See, this is why I love this challenge, because I would never expect this in any other circumstance to be something that I have to combine. Some form of cockatrice? It would have to be, right? Also, why does this guy look like photoshopped? His head looks weird. I don't know. Alright. Next selection. You see, this kind of brings up a similar problem, so I might re-roll. A tapir, a yak, and a reindeer. Are those different enough? I mean, right? Yeah, because you've got, like, the snoot, the hair, the horns. This could be an interesting little pack animal. Like a beast of burden, not like a wolf. Alright, alright. I'm digging it. Plop that down into the clip. Alright, one more. Give me something weird. I'm saying it. I'm putting it into the universe. I'm gonna regret it. A dingo, a gnu, and a gorilla. Okay, wild dog. Wild Australian dog. Ungulate, savannah beast, primate. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. It's kind of the hunter and the hunted going on here. Alright, and let's pop over and clip real quick, and I'll show you these guys up close. Alright, yes, so we have our... You want diversity? Here's your diversity group. The anteater, the rooster, and the starfish. No clue. No clue how I'm gonna deal with that. But that should come up with some interesting results. I might definitely take some liberties there. And the next one is a little bit more similar-ish types of creatures, but not quite samey. We've got the tapir, the yak, and the reindeer that has a rack. And then we have the dingo, the gnu, and the gorilla. Which is interesting, and also something that feels like you want variety, you take it, but not quite as jarring as the first one, of course, but definitely still a little bit of a challenge. I guess I could speculate a little bit here with you guys for a minute. I mean, like, Yeah, I don't know. This one's giving me kind of like it's gonna look like a hellhound, maybe. Um, this one is definitely giving like a domestic kind of like packing animal where they carry stuff around, mostly because of the yak is one of those types of critters as well. The reindeer is very associated with humans, right? These two, like, they give similar-ish vibes of like kind of being associated with nomadic people, right? I guess the yak a little less so. That's more like just in the Himalayas. But there could be something there. And then the tapir is kind of the curveball. But it's just got a fun little snout and a white booty. Like, that's just fun all around. That's some good design. And then we have the anteater, rooster, and starfish. I have, like, again, I guess, like, we could pull a star-nosed mole and say that it goes on the end of the snout for the anteater. But then, where does the rooster go? Is the rooster the body? You think it would be a quadrupedal creature. Maybe it's some form of griffin between these two. But usually, the bird head is the front of the griffin. So I don't know how that'd work. And then the starfish. I don't know. I gotta deliberate on this for some time. Alright. Well, I'll see you in the speed paint voiceover once I figured out how to do this stuff. Oh my god. So we're starting strong with the most challenging of the three, because I usually do these in order of rolling them, and because I could spend the most time trying to figure out how to design this. I decided to opt against my usual method of drawing all the hybrids on the same page, and instead gave them their own files to shine. You may or may not have noticed last week, but I had an extra video. This is in part because I felt like I had the drive to do it, but also because I wasn't sure how a new concept would land, and because I felt like I was making stuff kind of quickly. But I figured at the end of the day, especially because posting 2 videos left me a little harried that week, that I would save that for like rare special occasions for now, and that I would instead focus on quality over quantity, which kind of sounds like a duh moment, but these are the things that you need to internalize when you're making stuff like this. But yeah, I wanted to let myself make more full pieces with all of the details that I like anyway. I'm still experimenting with this channel, obviously, so bear with me if I wind up doing some weird stuff, but on to the creatures, that's why we're here. I apologize in advance, but this is gonna be a little cursed. I don't think the starfish addition to the design could not be. I leaned onto the rooster and anteater parts of this design pretty hard, landing somewhere close to a griffin almost, and the giant anteater's fluffy butt proved perfect for the showy tail of the roosters and the feathers that blend in from the wing. And okay, yeah, so the mouth. I know we're screaming about the mouth. Yes, it's something. The mouth wound up with the length of the anteater's snoot and the starfish legs splitting it down the middle. It's definitely the most prominent part, despite my best efforts. It was the only way I could think to incorporate this into the design without losing the starfish. It kind of gives like a dragon vibe if the dragon looked like that. Like last time, I didn't try to cram 3 names together into some portmanteau, but instead landed on a more colloquial creature name, just for that little bit of extra flavor. This guy is called the Red Crest. Also, like last time, I have written some lore. The Red Crest, also known as the False Basilisk, is a reclusive species. Despite its jarring appearance, it's generally shy. It uses the flexible mandibles on its long snout to grasp food, mostly large bugs and small birds, or it uses the suckers on its mandibles to anchor itself into a hole it's dug on the hillside or tree with its claws, so its long tongue can take up the bugs inside. It can't fly very far with its wings, which are mostly for mating displays, along with the crest along its head that it's named for. Females have less striking colors along with shorter crests and snouts. Males may wrestle for dominance using their mandibles, which are very muscular. Though not typically aggressive, if threatened, they may bite humans using their mandibles, which is obviously kind of a traumatizing experience. The force of their muscles has broken bones, but most encounters just leave behind a deep bruising with pinpoint circular marks for the suckers on their snout. Next up, we have the tapir, yak, and reindeer, and this is definitely a palate cleanser after Red Crest. The majority of the reindeer comes out in the horns, but the feet do get a little extra toe on the back, like reindeer's sleek little high heels. It did, of course, need the trunk, and without color, this is kind of reminding me of an earlier yak hybrid I rolled, Nellie, though she was a yak, snake, and an elephant. It's really the yak fur in the trunk that emphasizes it. I added kind of an underwhelming saddle, based on the one in the yak picture, mainly to emphasize that this is kind of a human-facing animal. I gave it both reindeer horns and the curly yak horns off to one side. I was kind of stumped on names, so I ultimately settled on a very Pokemon-like portmanteau, Snowful, mixing snow and snuffle. It's not great, but I think it also kind of suits this design. The affectionately dubbed Snowful is from a variety of long snout creatures bred as pack animals and mounts. This breed is namely known for its ability to withstand cold temperatures. The snouts of the species were developed in a now extinct wild ancestors that allowed them for an increased sense of smell and snuffling through branches and snow to find food. Obviously, the Snowful mainly sorts through snow to find buried grasses and bulbs. This instinct has also been used, along with Snowful's improved sense of smell and weather resistance, to search for the potential survivors of avalanches. In the springtime, its fur can be sheared in a variety of cultural cuts, and its black and white shorn fur is considered especially stylish in outfits or other fiber crafts, as well as effective in winter wear because it's warm but somewhat water resistant. Snowful also shed their horns seasonally, males during the fall and females during the spring. Their shed horns are used in a number of sentimental crafts. A Snowful has a long life, and the birth and death of one is a major event for the families that rear them. Finally, we have the Dingo, Gnu, and Gorilla hybrid. This one struck me as kind of a hellhound type creature, and the body design almost landed on like the Beast design in Disney's Beauty and the Beast, which I believe they based him off of a lion, wolf, and a wildebeest, which is another name for the Gnu, actually, so kind of tracks perfectly. I decided to forego hooves and instead put more Gnu into like the face and markings. It's GNU, by the way. I made the front clawed hands, and initially I was just going to make the back feet digitigrade dog legs, but I was reminded of something I did a little while ago where I drew wolves with hands, not in the way that you'd think, and I'm sorry for subjecting you to digitigrade hands, but it bookends this video with the cursed traits very nicely to me. At this point, I remembered that Latin names were a thing, so I opted to go for Denimus, a combination of demonium, demon, and nemus, meaning the forest, or you can just call it a forest demon. The Denimus are a pack-based group of intelligent predators, which means they've historically butted heads with humans more often than not in their territories. Generally, they live in deep forests, which made them the perfect allegory for the dark unknowns of the wild. Their human-like hands have earned them, along many other nicknames, the title of true werewolves. In some cultures, it is believed that their origin comes from humans corrupted by demons or their own misdeeds. They're also referred to as hellhounds and forest demons, the roots of their namesake. Their nearly human appearance makes them the villains in many stories, and their cries can be eerily human as well, leading to local mythology of them speaking and cutting deals with humans, or actual demons disguising themselves as the creatures. Due to their hind leg size, they don't often stand on them, but it's believed that if you do see a Denimus standing like a human, it's a terrible omen. They are generally afraid of humans and will flee from them, but they will still rear up if they feel they've been attacked or they're territorial. Some cultures have worked alongside and tamed Dynemis, even domesticating them. A Dynemis trained by humans is incredibly intelligent and extremely driven. They need stimulus and a sound pack environment, definitely not the best lapdogs. Attempts at taming babies among the uneducated, however, has led to some gruesome ends for both owners and pups, namely goring with horns, which are typically budded, mauling, strangulation, or crushing. Dynemis are ranged to about the size of a lion. They're formidable, large, intelligent, and therefore a little downright scary. And those are all my hybrids for this round. I really like these ones, the Dynemis especially, if you couldn't tell by the slight surplus of lore, was particularly checking some boxes for me. I might add it to some existing lore of one of my stories. I hope you liked this video though. Give it a like if you did like it, and tell me which of these is your favorite in the comments, or any other art challenges you'd like to see me do in the future. And of course, you can subscribe to catch all that. I upload at least once a week on Speed Paint Saturday. But at that, I'll leave this here, and I'll see you all next time.